Hence, our efforts at rural transformation. Under my administration, we are serious in transforming our rural areas, and for this reason, we have provided substantial amount of budget to implement numerous programs and projects in the rural areas. And that is the reason why I am asking for another extra 500 million, which the opposition seems to be not in favor of. I'll elaborate on this matter later on. That is why I want to ask for the extra 500 million, so that is to make the rural people more pleasant, rural areas more pleasant. All these products are in the form of rural basic infrastructure, such as roads, water, and electricity supplies, as well as social amenities. I would like to assure that these projects are indeed people-centric, putting people first in order to accelerate this transformation. Now, in response to the issue raised by the honourable member for you-know-who, Kota Sentosa, on MRPs and social programs under rural development, I would like to inform that these efforts are not one-off. Bukan sekali saja macam telur goreng, sekali saja. This is not one-off, but will be continued under the 11th Malaysia Plan until we see marked improvement in the livelihood of our rural community. This effort will be continuous, not an on and off solution. The first tranche of allocation amounting to 244 million has been disbursed to implement 1,032 projects, and there are many more being planned and to be implemented. The federal government also continues to provide funds for minor rural projects this year. I regret to say that the DAP, in opposing my request for an additional 500 million for rural development, which will largely benefit the Bumiputra community. This additional allocation will be used for the implementation of rural projects such as the Long Lama Bridge. Now that we got the money, we can commence this year the all-important Long Lama Bridge. Bako Bridge, Lembang Bridge, some other rural roads, increase in MRP allocation for Barisan National Adun. Yes, I have increased allocation for them, not because there is a coming election, but because the money is available and I want them to fulfill the promises that they have made. Now that they have more money, they can fulfill most of these promises. And I hope Barisan MPs will spend them wisely. And of course, those areas which are not represented by the end representative, we also make provision for them, but not through opposition members. Otherwise, they get the credit. Kita tidak mahu kerbau memberi susu, sapi dapat nama. Kerbau musnah kebun, sapi musnah kebun, kerbau diikat. But that is the policy. Okay, you want to interrupt? Go ahead. I expect.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Yang Amat Berhormat, Chief Minister. I think there's a misunderstanding here. We have no objection to any development of rural development, but we are of the view that the money that has been allocated by this House, approved by this House, ought to be accounted for and ought to be properly spent That's why we are objecting on just a lump sum, but we want a more accountable spending. Because most of the MRP funding, there are kickbacks to the person approving it. So that's why we want more proper accounting. In my speech stated very clearly, we are supportive of any rural development. I think I made myself clear.
One speaker,
I don't think there's any misunderstanding at all. Because many times I ask, those who are yes, they say. Those who no, then they say no. Many times. Second reading, committee stage, you all consistently say no.
Proceed. One speaker, proceed. May I just say, this is a desperate attempt to backtrack on what they already said. After they see the consequence of what they say, they feel with regret and find some technical reason why they oppose it. But the crux of the matter is you are against further rural development, which is a reflection of their true nature. No more pretense. All this talk about impian rakyat is just a political gimmick to fool the rural people. This is just tokenism. It's not the substance. Excel kata orang kampung kami, excel aja. Remember that word, excel aja. I regret to say that DAP is opposing my request for an additional 500 million. I don't know, I was referring to DAP. I don't know what is the PKR stand on this. They seem to be very quiet. Here we are advocating rural development, the sake of the rural people, etc. But when you ask a certain question, you either hesitant or you say no. So by virtue of association, I think that they also oppose rural development. No matter what you say, you can show your fingers whatever it is. The truth will stand. This additional allocation will be used for the implementation of rural projects such as Long Lama, Bako Bridge, Limbang Bridge, and all the others. The increase in for these constituencies, Barisan Nasional Adun nearby can forward their request to me for approval. So we're not making the available only to BN areas, but also to opposition areas, but through our channel. As I have mentioned earlier, these projects are rural basic infrastructure, such as roads, water and electricity, as well as social amenity projects, such as community halls, places of worship, and sport facilities. In view of the different types of project scope and location, the cost of this project varies, of course. Therefore, it is not practical to provide the same amount of allocation for every project. Government machinery is now in full gear, implementing all our rural transformation projects to ensure that these projects are completed on time to benefit the rakyat. Our people must be ready to grab all opportunities arising from more investment coming into the state. These industries demand workers that are highly skilled and technically competent. We do not want these opportunities to be filled by foreign workers if we can help it. Priority, of course, will be given to local people. We do not want these jobs to be filled by foreign workers if we can help it. Indeed, these opportunities should be taken up by our local workforce. Therefore, it is imperative for us to prepare and train our people to be highly skilled and competent to meet the need of this industry. Human capital and technical training is in the main agenda of our development thrust to spearhead the success of our industrialization. For this purpose, we are establishing more technical training centers. At the same time, we are fine-tuning the quality of existing programs and courses to suit and meet the requirements of industry in various fields, namely manufacturing, agriculture, and services. The state government will complement the efforts of the federal government in technical and vocational training, and in this respect, the Adenan Sarawak has been asked to collaborate with other agencies in spearheading technical training in the state. I now refer to Penggulungan Highway, Logging Road, and Jiwa Moni projects. We have seen how a well-planned and extensive highway network have been successful in changing the economic landscape and accelerating economic growth of the country. The nearest example, of course, is West Malaysia, where they have highways and so on. Highways are needed to improve the mobility of people and transportation of goods effectively and efficiently from one point to another. In the case of Peninsular Malaysia, the development of the North-South Highway has helped to integrate and transform the economy of Peninsular Malaysia to what it is today. We in Sarawak do not want to be left behind. All this while, we have been waiting for the development of the Penggulungan Highway, as we believe this highway will bring about significant socio-economic progress to our state, as can be seen from the impact of highways in Peninsular Malaysia. All this time, we have been jealous, as it were, of West Malaysia for having this highway for the economic development. It is never too late, therefore. We should have had it much earlier than this. But now it comes, we accept it with open arms. Too late? Well, not too late, but we will accept it, nevertheless. And don't start nitpicking on this matter. Look at the overall picture, what it will do and transform Sarawak. Don't talk about who gets this contract, that contract, etc., etc. Of course, we want Sarawak companies to participate in all these projects. Of course, that is what we want. And that is what we told the federal authorities on this one. The Prime Minister has honored his election promise to deliver the Penggulungan Highway to us when he launched the project on 13 March of this year. Prime Minister is also committed to ensure that the project main contractors appoint local contractors to undertake the job. We Sarawakians are indeed grateful, thankful to the Prime Minister and federal government in approving this project, as we should not waste our time debating on the polemics about this project and that project and so on. Instead, we should be grateful that this highway will not impose any toll on road users and will be completed within the period of 8 years. We all know that it is the single largest infrastructure project ever undertaken in Sarawak and will have tremendous impact to transform the rural area.